I just create that account in the quick data, okay, with this email ID. So that onboardation I can go ahead with some of the things with
Okay.
other day, but today I'm just talk about that the security side, what exactly the security side the Okta is having. Okay, so in Okta side we are having a couple of securities areas through which we can manage or we can apply some security things to our accounts, whatever the users we are having, whatever the applications we are having, and on the stream application, what the applications we are having, we are holding. So the security side, majorly the concern it is how the things whenever the lifecycle management kind of activity is going to be rotating. So we are supposed to apply some security concern from that the Okta side because Okta is my IDP over here for all of my users. Okay, IDP means identity
Provided.
provider. Okay. So in security notification email, there are a couple of things. How I can roll out such kind of mails should be coming from Okta to my end users or to myself also. So there are in the general settings, we can observe that thing, security notification emails. So the security notification emails tells majorly that part, how these mails are going to be notified, what kind of activity is going to be happen in the backend, so we can get to know what kind of the mail should be triggered on that time. Okay, so we need to enable some of the settings or the configure certain kind of activity from the Okta side. So whenever these kind of activity will happen, so I will get a mail. Okay. So if a new sign-on notification email, new sign-in notification means like right now I created my account in Okta. Okay. So the mail has been delivered to my mailbox. Correct? Like this thing. Activation mail. Okay, like this area. So how this user and user get notified? So this user get to notified when this kind of setting should be going enable. Enable means it is right now disabled. So according to client requirement, according to configuration path as an administrator area, we need to check or we need to enable the certain kind of things through which end user should notify through the email. So we need to enable some of that things. Similarly for my password change, if I change my password, so I should get to know which user password has been changed, or either he should notify by the mail also. Okay, so some kind of mail settings it is to be there in the general category over here. Similarly for my authenticator enrollment, I come on later what exactly the authenticator is means. So the authenticator like your Okta Verify. Okay, you are having Okta Verify application with you or some other application with you. If you wanted to change your authenticator or if you wanted to uh, get rid of from your authenticator, okay, you are disabling your authenticator, you are changing your authenticator. So every time it should be get to notify by the Okta to you on your mailboxes. Okay. Similarly for authenticator reset. Right now I am having that the Okta Verify. I'm going to change with Microsoft Authenticator or Google Authenticator. Okay, so I'm changing that authenticator. So on that time also I should get a mail from that Okta site like you are changing your authenticator or this authenticator has been changed. Right now it look very simple, but if you are having 10,000 users, okay, in an organizations, so on that parameter you should be aware of that part, or as an administrator you will get that thing, how much authenticator, what kind of authenticator, or a user get notified or not notified about this kind of activity. So this is kind of activity you should activate from that our general setting area in the security concern area. Okay, the
Yeah.
mails.
Hello?
Yep.
She's asking about the password, but not asking about create the password.
Mm,
Yeah,
create
yeah.
what?
He has already given the password in the chat. You can try that. It will prompt to give the new password then.
Hmm.
Okay.
Once you enter that same password, then again the next window will come up with for the next password. Change password. Okay. Let's complete that activity first, Revati.
Yeah. Yeah, it's asking now.
So right now that Okta is one of my area or the where I can manage my identity or secure my identity. So we need to enable such of the settings from that the Okta as an administrator side. So my user should be notified that screens tell that you need to enable that settings. So every kind of activity which is going to be happen beyond this area or inside that area, like password change, authenticate change, reset change, reset or authenticator change, any new identity is going to be enrolling, any suspicious activities going on, so you should be notified by that the Okta. So these kind of setting you should be enabled from that area, the general settings. Okay. Sometimes some client required, sometimes some client don't require this kind of activity, but it should be enabled always. Okay. Similarly, in the CAPTCHA integration, CAPTCHA is quite old in kind of integration. Right now, we are having the authenticator and other kind of activities. It is to be there with the Okta. So we generally don't require this CAPTCHA integration. Okay. In the CAPTCHA integration, the same kind of thing it is to be there. Like as you have ever seen certain kind of activity, like right now at the time of uh, creating any account. So I have seen there is a captcha. I need to enter some word numeric kind of activity. So that is a captcha. Okay. So right now we don't require this kind of activity. If my client required that part, so you need to integrate the captcha or some kind of activity. So you need to go to there and click on edit part. Okay. Under the edit, what kind of captcha you required, you just mention edge captcha or recaptcha version 2 you require. So these are the two organizations who are providing that the captcha integrations. Okay, so on that side, you need to go to that application, that captcha application, which is to be in the market right now. So you can go there and put there the side key and the secret key from there, because we need to purchase this thing, captcha. Okay, then we can enable that captcha in my Okta site. Okay, before that thing, we can't do this kind of activity. Okay, so this is that quite
Like
old kind of activity.
as admin actually.
Sorry.
I can able to log in as admin.
Yes. Okay, fine. So go to your this area, security, click on general. Okay. Once you go to security and general, try to fix this kind of activity over here, like security notification emails. Okay. So you can see
I
that
think
thing and make it enable. Okay.
all things are enabled actually.
Yeah, because I am the administrator and you are the administrator. So whatever the things I'm doing right now, so it's going to be done from your end. You can see this kind of activity, what is I am doing right now. Okay, because you are the administrator also, so we all three are the administrator. So whatever the person who is going to make changes, so there's the changes as going to be reflected over here. Okay. Organizational security, what security it is to be there, the security which is we are supposed to be implement on that the organizational level. Okay, like IP binding for the admin console, like whatever whoever that admin should be over here right now. So we are supposed to be enabling a certain kind of IP where whatever the IP he is trying to log in as an administrator, it is going to be bind for him. Okay, so that part it is to be by default it is enabled. Okay, remember user sign in logs, like right now you are signing in with your email address and all. So it will asking you either you are going to remember your username basically. So that kind of activity should be mentioned from this area. Okay, remember enabled over here. Okay, similarly option to stay sign in before user sign in, so that is also been enabled. So stay signed in means basically whenever you are signing in over here right now. Okay, and sometimes the thing it is a pop-up will come up whether you are not doing any kind of activity quite for 10 minutes, or I think yeah, 10 minutes. Within the 10 minutes you are not going to do any kind of activity, your page is going to be expire. Okay, so on that time you should be seeing that kind of pop-up. So that pop-up should be visible to you or not visible to you, you can change this settings from this area. Okay, right now it is enabled, it will pop up for me. So you should be signing up. The session is going to be expired within 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So on that kind of pop up or wizard will come up for me. So that is kind of activity it's to be happen from this area only. Okay. Option. Activation email are valid for. So whatever the mails it is to be you have received at the first time of creation of accounts. Okay. So that is going to be the expire links and in 7 days. So this kind of settings on the organization level has been taken care by this area. Okay, activation emails are valid for 7 days. You can change it also. It's not a big deal. Okay, you can change it either 2 hours, 1 day, or 30 days. Okay, if you wanted an immediate effect, so you can go for only 1 hour. Okay, but it is an organization level kind of activity. So you don't know where exactly your users are sitting around.
If in case it expires current, so again, how we can just resend it, or how we can.
No, you can't resend it. So that the user need to be imported again, or either you need to create the user again.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because user didn't do any kind of activity. Okay, so sometimes it is to be there. Everything it is going to be like if you are seeing certain kind of activities like user joined the organization. Some of the accesses has been provided to the users already, but you after 2 3 days, whatever the thing it is to be the either due to that the lack of BGV or lack of some kind of documentation, or either he is terminated, or either he is not going to go ahead with that organization. He left out, but the mail is already been rolled out for him. Okay, so on that time his account is not been created in that the completely profile. Okay, so he's not completed his profile basically. So that link is only for creation that the profile to activate his profile. So we need to resend that activation mail from that administrator point of view. Okay, so that kind of activity you
So
can observe.
considering this, mostly, I mean, in the organizations, they keep it for like 7 days, maybe, right?
Yeah, 7 days is that kind of a standard one. Okay, because if after 7 days is like 30 days. 30 days is quite long. Okay, so that's fine. Like 1 day, 7 days is fine now. So that's the standard one. Enforce device matching for creating sessions. So that means that whatever the device you are going to enforce for this account level, for this your tenant level in that organization, it's enabled for all IDPs. All IDPs basically means like whatever the IDPs you are going to touch, like any Active Directory, any SaaS based solutions or SaaS based Active Directories like Workday and other kind of things. So you should be So that should be enabled for all your device area. So that is we are supposed to be enable all IDPs. All IDPs means basically whatever the IDPs you are going to touch from your device, enforced device matching. Okay. So device over here, what exactly that mean it is over here? Enforce device matching basically for whatever the Okta ensures your authentication. Okay, like from this tenant or whatever the device you are supposed to be, like your mobile device, the Okta verify has already been there or not there. So it should be matched. Okay, like whatever the device you are going to log in, not from your system, from other system you are supposed to be login. Okay, but your credentials it is to be with that the Okta side. So your authenticity purpose it's going to be make a session. Okay, so that's why it is enabled from all the IDPs. User match criteria sign in basically means like right now I am entering all my username is my complete username. I'm going to type it, okay, like this thing, current.asset, this kind of thing. Okay, but if I'm going to type very short only current, so it will take that thing, it will take my login as a that name also. So that the figure that so that is the thing how I can go ahead and take it as my username on that time. Okay, so that is a very short criteria or user match criteria even at the time of sign in. Okay, that is the thing over here. Either you can go with the entire username match till the time it will not find the complete username, it's not going to be login me. Okay, so that is the thing. If I'm make it change over here like short match, if I'm going to type only Karan over there or try to log in, it will also take me as a same guy. So it will consider me as a same guy over there. So that is saying over here allow short match over there. Okay, like you say, like you are having the full name. Okay, uh, Veena something. Okay, Veena plus your surname. Okay, but if you enter only Veena, so it will take you. Okay, it will take you, it will grant you the access on that side. So that's why it is a short match. Okay, user can review recent activity. So whatever the activity you are doing in that the Okta profile, so user can view it. So how could I view it that part? So that area I can view from my report area, report section area. So user can view whatever the activity he is supposed to do. So for that purpose, I can view whatever I did so far. I can view. Okay, I added two of the guys. Okay, over here you can see each and every activity, each and every seconds activity just to be over here. See, October 1st, all the activity of the October 1st. So that is the on that setting part I can view that thing. So that settings basically on that the security which I am going to implement or which I am going to set or configure on the general sector on that the organization levels. Okay, these are the organization level security concerns. Okay, so the whatever the organization level it is to be there, it is applicable for all that user. Who else or whatever the user numbers, whatever the user size in my that tenant, they will fall under this organization security. Okay. User standard AMR value format basically is nothing much that it is a authentication method reference basically what kind of how the user is going to be authenticate through which protocol it is going to be authenticate, that is to be enabled. Either user is going to be authenticated by OIDC, SAML or whatever the applications protocol it is to be there. So he can enable that or he can log in that area because that setting is enabled. If it is going to be disabled, so certain kind of authenticators which is supported by Okta or either with the application, I can go ahead. Not for all that the authenticator which is to be there. Not sorry, not all the protocols which are with here. Okay, so that is the ARM value it is to be concerned over here. And user enumeration prevention basically is nothing but it is a only kind of features where we can protect or the organization protect against the attackers. Who also to be the attackers or who is going to be identify the users at the authenticator enrollment area. So we can use that the user enumeration prevention over here. Either we are going to set up by the authentication or either by the recovery kind of activity. If your password is stolen or if you are hacked or something, a new device is you are going to launch, you are going to not launch, you are going to log in from the new device kind of things. So how could you get to know? How could you verify from that the new device or something? So that is kind of activity you need to enable it. Okay, either authentication or either the recovery or either both. You can go at that part. Okay.
Karan, sorry, could you just explain me again the one which you explained?
So the
In
use enumeration,
enumerate.
yeah, prevention basically means this feature it is for your organization protection against attacker who attempt to identify user accounts and authenticator enrollment. Okay, so it means that whatever the attacker should be get to know that what exactly your user account and what exactly the authenticator you are using. So whenever you are trying to go ahead or log in with this on this tenant with any new device, so it will trigger you, it will define you to show that the password and email which is to be you are going to be authenticate yourself. Okay.
Ah, okay. So every new device, when we try to authenticate, that particular device will be shown, right?
Yes, so at that particular device will be shown or it will ask you like the and it will ask you to receive an authenticator, it will ask you
Oh,
to
okay.
go
So
ahead with the authenticator side also.
Receive an authenticator verification error. Okay.
Okay, so it will ask you, it will tells you if you does not exist any can't log in inside that area. So they will ask you the authenticator to verify error should become. Okay, basically it means that like right now you are the user. Let assume you are not the user, you are trying to access that application. Okay, someone else is trying to access. So whenever he is trying to access from the new device also. Okay, new device means the device which you are logging regular basis. So that the all the settings you have done, all the things you have done with that device, that is device is registered with you. But if the device is not registered with that area, so how he is supposed to log in? Okay, so he need to go with that the authenticators side also, and on that time he will fails to log in that area. Okay, because he is not having that the authenticator with him, like your Okta verify code you entered in the second time. So that guy is not supposed to be having because his device is not been there. Correct? Only your device should be there to authenticate yourself.
Yeah.
That is the thing. Okay. So in that, the next thing is protect against password-based attack. It is to be like you require position factor before password during MFA. So position factor basically means your credentials. Okay, the credential is going to be required whenever you are trying to access or go through that the multi-factor authenticator. Okay, so some it is to be disabled over here. If you want it to enable, so you can enable it. Okay, it is not too much on that the security side. It is just a simple, or you can say it's a kind of organization level settings. It is to be there, which is to be around on that the authentication side of the user. If the user is having an attack from that the outside environment, or either it is to be the password stolen kind of activities to be there, so how he is supposed to protect himself, how he can just to get to know what exactly the things comes next, where exactly I can find the notification, what kind of mail should be comes to me, what kind of things I need to enable or disable kind of things it is to be there. So that is majorly comes under my security area. Okay, if you see require position factor before password during MFA. During MFA. Okay, so require position factor. Position factor nothing but your credentials. Okay, the password you are trying to enter. So that is to be disabled. It is going to enable this feature require user to verify their identity with a position factor before acknowledge factor. Knowledge factor. Knowledge factor basically means your password, your security question, and these. We can check on that later on whether we are jumping on that the authenticator side basically. So you will get this type of notification over there. Okay. In that side, nothing too much. Okay. There is one thing, Okta device access. So whatever the device you are trying to access to log in that Okta account, so basically this kind of thing should be mentioned over here. Enable device recovery pin for desktop MFA, or either enforce number matching challenge for desktop MFA. So these kind of things over here, it is related to your multi-factor authentication again. Right now the thing it is like we enroll ourselves or we integrate you can say our account to Okta Verify to log in inside that area. But the similar kind of activity you can go ahead with the desktop level also. Okay, so how the desktop level it is to be there, like you are supposed to be no need to go in your mobile handset and try to push notification or enter code or take the code from there and enter in the screen. Okay, it is just because of the thing you are having a machine right now. That's my I am having this desktop machine I am having, and I am going to set inside my desktop. I am going to set my multi-factor authentication. Okay, like Okta Verify, or you can say like Windows Hello or something. Okay, so that is should be there. So on that time, this will ask you, like right now, what the thing it is to be there. I'll showcase you. Okay, Okay, so what the thing it is over here, it is asking me the Okta verify application, enter the code. But if I enable that thing, so on the time of login at this area, it will ask me the PIN. Okay, the 6-digit PIN it will ask me. So this that is called a desktop MFA. Okay, that picture calls it the desktop MFA. So I need to enter whatever the PIN I set for my desktop login inside for authentication myself with this application. Okay, or the desktop is been authenticated with this application. With this application means with this tenant. Okay, so that it is a one kind of MFA should be there for my device access, through which device I am going to access my tenant. Okay, so that is the one of the thing. Right now, what is my device right now? My device is my Okta Verify application, which I already set in my mobile device. Okay, so that's why my Okta verification is my device access area. So you see the device access. This is my phone. Okay, so this is how I should get to know through which device I am going to access my tenant. Okay, so he should know which device I am going to access that tenant. So if I am going to enable the desktop access area, desktop MFA, so it will mention over here my desktop name and enrolled by that platform. What the desktop platform, the Windows one or whatever the iOS. Okay, so that is the kind of the security things which is to be mentioned in that area in the general settings. Okay, this section. Sorry, this section. Okta device access. So on that time, it will ask me to enter the PIN for desktop MFA to log in that the particularly tenant. Okay, so that is the thing. This is one of the feature for device one. Device for only desktop device. Got it? Any questions so far?
No, Karan, I'm good.
Okay,
No, Karan.
fine. In Okta, Threat Insight settings says that basically whatever the authentication request you are getting from IPs, suspicious behavior, or any kind of malicious activity is going to be triggered. It's going to be coming in your way. So how could you notify it going to be notified by your end, or how could you take a look on that side? So on that side, whatever the action has been taken care by my tenant means my organization tenant, what kind of actions I should need to take. So that is to be over here. Either I am going to take no action on that area, or either I am going to take log authentication attempt from malicious IPs. So log authentication attempts means to take a record from which area what kind of IP is going to be target or who else is going to be target to my tenant from unauthorized access, or how many attempts they are going to target, or how many times they are going to attempt to authenticate on my tenant or access my tenant. So through that way I am going to log means take a record of that part, where I can get a record this kind of activity, or where I can find this kind of activity. Again, you need to go to your report section, take a look on system logins. Okay, so over here you will find in that event info. Okay, some of the failures, some of that the users behavior, either the success you will get also. Okay, but you will get also who is that the target, who is attempting on my tenant. You will also get that information. Okay, so this is a complete area of logging. Log. You already know what is the logs, to track down the records. Okay, that is the maintaining of the logs. So you can download the CSV file from here, and you can showcase, or you can easily figure it out who as the user who is targeting on my tenant. Okay, so over here right now the thing it is you guys. Okay, you are login on my tenant, so your details should be comes over here. Okay, you can see this multi-factor authenticator. Okay, so these kind of activities you can also view for suspicious. user. Suspicious user mean suspicious IP, suspicious user, whatever the things. So how could I find their IPs also? So you can go down in that section. Okay, in that section you can expand it, expand all. So you will find each and everything, like where exactly the user it is and how exactly it's trying to access. Okay, let me check this area. Okay, so this is that one of the rate info. Okay, device is trying to access from the device this tenant. Okay, his city, his country, sorry, her country. Okay, her postal address, whatever the things, which browser she is using, which device she is using. Okay, and rest of the things like details of her. Okay, so you can see each and everything over of that user. Okay, so this is how we can view or we can see. So in that complete area of this logs area, so we can also figure it out from which IP address, which location the suspicious user is trying to access my tenant. So it's comes in my log, and after coming in my log, so I can easily figure it out. Either I am going to block this IP address, or either I'm going to uh, allow this IP address. Okay, so that is completely comes to my mind, or I can do this kind of activity as an administrator if it is a suspicious. So that is not going to be hamper my other user. Okay, other users or other tenant, whatever the thing. Okay, so I can do this kind of activity as a security person or a security concern area. Okay, so there are the logs which is going to be maintained under security side. So that is kind of activity which is to be written over here. Action means what kind of action you should take. I can log authentication attempts or from malicious IP addresses. Okay. Exempt zones. Exempt zones we can talk about later at the time whether we are touching our network zones. Exempt zones basically tells that where exactly, how exactly my user is going to log in. Okay, so as you know about this part in logs, if I found one of the user is suspicious, okay, so what can I do? Either I am going to, as I told you, either I am going to allow that user, or either I am going to block that user. Okay, so on that basis, on what basis I am going to do this kind of activity? So on that basis, what I'm going to do, like over here, you can see zones, exempt zones, it is mentioned over there. Okay. So on the zone side, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this kind of activity. I can put new market on United States area in the countryside. I can block this city. So whatever the user who is trying to access my tenant from this city, new market, from their country, United States, or either from this IP address. We're trying to access my tenant from this area or this IP address or this country. I am going to block it. Okay. So whatever the user who is coming from this side, he is not supposed to be logging in my system. He is not supposed to be access my system. So this is how the exempt network area it is comes in this picture. So through that security, I can define or I can prepare, I can secure my tenant or secure my organization by doing this kind of activity. So that's why it is mentioned over here, like take an action or either exempt zones, whatever the zones you are decided or you are defined. Okay. So the zone side is again we can go down in the authenticator, but this comes later. I'll talk to this kind of portion or the session later on this topic network zone. Okay. which is because it is comes over here in this section. Okay, let's go one by one, then we can jump on that area. Health inside, I think I talked about this thing earlier. Health inside is nothing but it's a kind of report of your organization. As you are having your health report, similarly, this is your Okta talent report, basically. Okay. Some of the area after blood sample checkup or whatever the things you will find out which area I am feeling deficiency, which area I need to take care, which area is normal, which area is fine in our body. Similarly, in Okta side, this health insight says that which area is critical, which area is moderate, so which area is high, which area is normal. So in that area, we need to easily figure it out. Easily figure it out which portion of my Okta talent area is much more in a not in a good shape. Okay, I need to figure it out. I need to make a solution for that area. Okay, so you can see this graph. This graph says like 14 out of 18 tasks are completed. Okay, so there are four more tasks which has not been in a completed state. Okay, due to some kind of activity which we are performing, due to some kind of changes we are performing in our tenant, or there are a couple of activities going on in my tenant area. So might be this kind of task will be increase or decrease all the time. Okay, but you need to take care as an administrator or as a Okta developer. You need to take care about that part. I need to finish my criticality sections. Okay, the impact of criticality you need to minimize. Okay, whatever the reason, it should be the critical. Either the import process is not going to happen, either password policy is not in the correct shape, either the signing on of the user is not in the correct shape, or you can see over here that 70% of 75% of the admins are super admin privilege having. So right now I am having three users. All of the three are the super admin. So that is not the right approach. Okay, that's why it is comes in the criticality part. Okay, it will also saying you action tab over here. So it's showing you what the issue. It's showing you what the impact of that security or what the impact of this issue, and where exactly you can go to fix this issue. So the action part says that which area you need to go to fix that issue. Okay, so that is mentioned over here. We can do this activity later on, but it's not necessary right now over here because this is our not production environment. So that's why, and we already know we are having three super admins. Why we are three super admins we prepared, we know that part. Okay, and the rest of the thing, it is not enabled for block suspicious IT. Threat insight is not enabled. It is saying threat insight is not enabled for block suspicious IPs. So we need to take care where exactly it is to be there. The threat insight, you see, report suspicious activity by the mail. It is mentioned. We already mentioned enable. Let's go back and check. Not enabled to block suspicious.
Maybe we have to include the IPs or any
Mhm.
zones.
Yeah, that is, we can do it later. If it is kind of action we need to take, we can take.
Mm.
But that is it's saying for something else. Saying for other kind of activity. If it's going to include some IP zone, we can do it later. No problem. Okay, leave it. No problem. It's not a big deal right now. Network zone password policy is suspicious. Okay. You see, it is becoming a high because we did some changes over here. It should be like this. Okay, we can check later because that is comes under some other area. Okay, what I'm trying to say over here as an administrator basically. So this graph should be more than 70. It is fine enough. First thing. Second thing, whatever the criticality part it is to be there. Whatever the things you have doing or whatever the things you have did or whatever the changes has been made on your tenant. So you need to figure it out or make this kind of activity on the criticality to moderate. That will be fine. Okay, and whatever the task it is to be it is you need to take care that is considered incomplete. Some are comes under completed a section and some are and comes under dismiss section. Okay, it's all up to the activity which you are going to perform. So that is comes under health insight. Now this is the important part, authenticators. So right now the authenticator, what is the meaning of authenticator?
And can
Authenticator,
we continue this from tomorrow? The authenticate.
authenticator. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No problem. No problem. We can continue tomorrow. So yeah, it's not a big challenge. Authenticator. Then we are having policies. Yeah, policies. Yeah, that all the things. Policy we can complete it tomorrow. So from authenticator, there are a couple of policies now it is coming. One is enrollment policy. Second is authentication policy. Third is your global session policy. Some of the user profile policies are be there, and we can talk about, if we are having time tomorrow, we can talk about networks and administration area majorly. Okay, so in this week we can complete our security section. Okay, security section we can complete this week. Then on next week we can go back to our application area. Okay, and hopefully we can complete our workflow in the second week also. Okay, so for these 2 weeks, we can complete our this complete Okta. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And one more thing, guys. Like I am supposed to join call every day. Okay, it's not a challenge for me right now, but the thing it is there. If something comes in the mid of that area, so I can inform you either. It's not exactly on my hand because the immediate kind of meeting it is to be there right now for me. Okay, because so that's why I'm not giving you 1 hour before that commitment that I am going to join. I am not going to join. Okay, at least I will try to make you give a statement at least 30 minutes before. Okay, but
Okay.
eventually, right, I'll go with that. The continue the session and finish that session. Okay.